Hello. I want to say a few words today about the narcissistic predator and just want to speak for a few moments about the narcissistic predator in terms of their agenda and what that might be, and in terms of those that they may seek to target so that we can maintain our safe relationship toolbox and to just be aware that information gathering regarding all sorts of characters that we may meet out there on the dating scene is probably a good idea to have in our safe relationship toolbox. So today I want to speak about the narcissistic predator, and a predator is something that usually goes after something that is weaker than them. And the narcissistic predator generally works in a way that is quite systematic. It's done in a way that is very targeted mindset, and so they sometimes look for people to target specifically for a specific reason, and that reason is generally found in line with their agenda, which is, in other words, they may target someone who specifically has what they want and is very likely to hand it over to them. And sometimes that target may be observed beforehand so that the narcissistic person does not have to waste their time and their energy on someone or something that is going to waste their energy and their time when they could be off using that energy on someone who is more likely to give them what they want. So, although it's not a very joyful thing to have to consider these options that may come our way, it's a pretty good tip to maintain an observational stance when we meet someone for the first time, and to just be aware really of the types of characters that we may engage upon when we're in the dating field or in the world in general. So just bearing in mind that there are some people, very narcissistic people, who like to set things up in terms of things being in line with their agenda, and that generally involves the other person giving to them rather than the relationship or situation being a mutually giving situation and receiving. So that's one key really, as far as a healthy situation is concerned, is that it's mutually reciprocal and not a one-way system where we consistently give and give and give without receiving anything in return. Often a narcissistic predator type person may have a lot of options going on in the background, so we may find that we're not the only one that is being targeted, because they do often have a lot of options, although they may look for the one that can give them the most benefits, of course, long term. But sometimes they have lots of options going on in the background, so that they have a backup plan, if you will, in case they run out of attention from this particular person or from many people. So that's another thing to bear in mind, that there may not be a lot of reciprocity, and it may not be a mutual interaction as far as giving is concerned. And also that there may be other options in the background which you may sense going on, as time goes on, or you may not. Some people are completely unaware as far as what their partner is really doing. So certain predators will target particular people who they may see as being more vulnerable and therefore having certain weaknesses that they may perceive, which may mean that they are more likely to be able to be manipulated and drawn into a particular situation or agenda, so that the narcissistic individual has all the control and the power in the situation and are more likely to be able to drain and to bring this person in line with what they want and what they want to take from that person or that situation. And as I say, that could be someone who is particularly vulnerable in a certain area. So it's quite a good idea to shore up our personal power so that actually we don't become a target and that person doesn't get the impression that we're going to be malleable and groomable anytime soon, because that shouts too much hard work, and people in general don't want to waste their time on someone who could be A, too much hard work, and B, drain them of their own energy long term, and still they may not get what they want. So it's quite a good idea to have high self-esteem, have a good deal of confidence in ourselves, and to maintain our personal power at a certain level so that we're not even considered as a target by a narcissistic predator of any sort, whether that's a man or a woman. And my other point that I wanted to highlight today was that maintaining high levels of self-love and self-esteem means that we're filling our own gaps. And by that I mean that we don't feel vulnerable and needy and dependent on someone else to fill up those gaps as far as our own self-love is concerned. So instead of looking out there for our validation, we actually are able to fill up those gaps that we have and shore up our self-esteem through a really good self-love foundation, so that we're not tempted to compromise ourselves consistently in a relationship with someone which may be able to identify those gaps that we have and that vulnerability as far as our self-esteem is concerned, or our need for validation, acceptance and love, because we're filling up our own self-love on a consistent basis and we're not needy, we're not sort of desperate for someone else to validate us, because we're used to doing that ourselves and we feel happy in ourselves and we're able to say no to certain situations which may compromise our personal power and our future happiness. So I hope that's helpful, and as always, stay safe and very happy. Bye bye.